Hello and welcome back. I know I've been absent for a little while. Kind of got burned out on the whole thing. I was out here every day working on it. Um, Took a break from it, built a nice new PC. So that's where I'm at with that. As for this, I just started getting really back into it. I still haven't finished the battery box. I need to buy another piece of metal for back here. Yeah, back here that leaps over this. As for the interior, stripped all the weather stripping off. I washed it. The bed's actually pretty clean as far as rust goes. There's really none to speak of other than back here, as you can see. These will probably just get wire wheeled up, nice cleaned up, put it in epoxy, or I might drill out the spot welds and replace them. I don't know how much they are. The interior I kind of put back together. These fit. These I had to trim up. As you can see, there's a front plate on it now. Headliner is all trimmed up. That fits as well. I still haven't wrapped or lined any of the plastic inside of it. But as for this front plate, this was a real big piece that kind of held me up. I wasn't really sure how I wanted to do it. I really wanted to just have it one piece bent, but finding somebody that had a press brake that big would have been a bit of a problem, and I had no way of making a perfect bend. I decided to cut it into two pieces and did this bottom piece, got it all tacked in. That wasn't too bad, but this piece was the one that I was dreadful of doing, just because of the amount of trimming that had to be done so that I could keep it perfectly contoured like so. What I wound up doing was putting it up against it, trimming as much as I could prior, and then putting it back up, ratchet strapping it, and then took a flap wheel and just went all along the edge to smooth it all down so that it's perfectly even. It's tacked in place in quite a few places, so that way I can get it towed out to my buddy, have him finish welding it, so that way it's not warped. If I do it, I'm probably going to warp it, or I'm going to have to sit there and tack weld it over and over and over again over many days. I just don't want to do that. It does not sound like a fun thing for me. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. After that gets tack welded on, which probably won't be until after winter, I'm going to be honest. Mainly because I don't want to tow it while the underside is completely bare on that metal. And I don't want to prime that when the rest of it, all the undercoating needs removed. So I'm going to wait until the weather starts cooling off to the point where I can come out here and wear a hood, wear pants, a nice thick shirt, and go at it with a wire wheel where I don't have to worry about the pieces breaking off and sticking in my skin. Because that is kind of the problem that I had when I was doing some over here. And that's it's not pleasurable. So that'll probably wait a little bit. But so the next steps, I want to get the battery box done because I can have him welded up, not a problem. And then once it cools off, that's when I'm going to start wire wheeling the underside. I'll get it primed, get it wrapped or lined, and then I will tow it out to him, have him weld that in, and then we're going to cut the window out in the front. Once that's done, it's pretty much just painting from there. I do need to finish wiring the trailer. I did begin to, and the wires will go up through here and attach to that plug. So that way I can just use the factory rear harness section, because why not? So next will be paint after that, and then I do need to finish up making the Prinsu style rack. I do have a little checklist over here of what I've got going through, which is pretty much everything that I talked about. I do need to remove the hitch off of this, finish wiring the trailer. The side skirts I need to make too. I have the factory ones for it that I'll just trim up until this point. And then probably right here I'll put an amber reflector on the side and then an amber reflector on the front. And on the back I'll probably put a red one there. And then just the taillights. I'm not sure that I need to do that for purposes of a trailer. but I'd rather have it on there. And when I finally have both of these moving and running, if I get pulled over, it's not an issue. So yeah, I haven't been out here. Another reason, my AC in the bottom portion of my garage doesn't work, so it's been extremely hot here. It's still summer, unfortunately. Today's 90 degrees out, but I came out to swap that wheel to that to see how much backspacing I have on it, because I'm thinking about new wheels for this. Obviously I can't find these, and I don't really like running the 1.5-inch spacer that's on it, so I'm looking at 18 by 10s or bigger, like 10.5s. I got to figure out the offset that I need, because these ones here are 18 by 7.5, 48 millimeter offset with an 1.5-inch spacer. And without that spacer, I have enough room behind it. It's just really close to the liners, so I don't really want to go any farther in, but I definitely need a wider wheel so that I can have that perfect fitment on this as well. What I'm looking at right now is ESR CS15's white with a polished lip. I think that'll look real clean against all that gray once I finally get this thing done and painted. This too. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it for today. Again, I'm not sure when I'll have much more of an update. Hopefully it starts cooling off out here. Right now it's, what is it, October 1st I think is today. So not much longer before it starts cooling off, and I can get out here and really get to work on it. So thanks for watching. So I'm back out here working on it again. I've really started to dig into the outside, kind of a little bit of rust issues that I had. And here. And then on both sides, I didn't think the rust was really that bad. Unfortunately, that's the case with a lot of them. I started sticking a screwdriver into places and started finding out that this was, well, really pretty rotted out. It's kind of like that on both sides. This side isn't nearly as bad as far as the wheel arches go. It's just this spot here. Here there's normally a lip that goes on the inside. I actually took it and cut it out, so the little bit of rust that was here is now gone, and then that's just there. The reason I did this is I did it on that as well, so that I can roll the fenders out and have a little wider wheel. And then, like I said, this side isn't too terribly much worse, but I mean, it is what it is. On both sides though, the rust kind of stops right about here, which makes sense because all the dirt and mud builds up in here, and then it just rots out from the bottom. So this is pretty solid. It just needs cleaned up, and then what I'll probably do is just cut it up and then cut up on both layers and then just flat plate it off. There's no reason for that to be there, honestly, that far down, which means I can have a good metal back here again. I started wire wheeling, got into it a little bit here. It is starting to really cool off, so I'm gonna be out here more and more to really start digging into it, getting it taken care of. As you can see, this is in the air. Got 2 jack stands down here. It's sketchy, but I mean, it's not going anywhere. The front is probably the most sketchy spot. Literally just the tongue on the table, but I mean, this is an incredibly sturdy table. I do have a jack stand under here, but it's not tight. It's a little bit of sketchiness, but gotta work with what you got. So yeah, the rust on this isn't too terrible. I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to keep it from being completely cleaned up, and this will last plenty long for my lifetime, probably. Honestly, I don't see me ever having an issue with rust again on this, other than, I mean, if somebody hits it and then it just gets scrapped. Should be really unfortunate. I hope that doesn't happen. While I've been out here, I didn't really have a stool to sit on and slide around. I was sitting on the bucket that's over there, and well, my ass hurts. I had this seat laying around on the passenger side, no holes or anything, but nobody wanted to buy it, so I cut the brackets off. Made me a rolly chair. This thing is actually proper height for me. It's comfortable. I mean, I can sit here for hours upon hours just sanding away. Just nice. Plus it leans back too. Although I need to, I've only got 3 wheels on it right now. And this one, it's not stable. So I need to get another piece of square tube, cross it, and then put the other wheel on it. I've got 4 of them. I just didn't have enough material, so. Yeah, that is where we're at. I do need to figure out what I'm going to do here. I had a hole that I drilled so that I could WD-40 in there, so I could try to get that bolt to come loose. I still haven't replaced this side. I just haven't found a good mount. Yeah. What I did up here with all this rust that you're seeing, I wire wheeled it on a grinder, and then proceeded to, what is that? Crud cutter. I've got it in the bottle over there. It's a green, very nasty smelling. This is what it does to rust. So I sprayed it all along there. Sprayed it in there. Sprayed it down here. And I mean, look, I didn't even wire wheel this. I literally just sprayed it. I do have some residual stuff in there still that we need to take care of. But I mean, overall, this isn't too bad, especially for a Midwest vehicle. It's just real minor stuff. I wish it was as clean as that one. That one, the literal only spot of rust on that one is right here in the door leg, and it's just starting right here. That's it. So on that one, I just gotta fix that. But all of this, everything is so clean on that. I can't believe it, especially for a vehicle that has spent 90% of its life in the Midwest. So somebody took care of it. It's great for me, especially since I only paid $1,000 for it. So I'm gonna go on ahead, cut this off, and I'm gonna get kind of working here. Get some more wire wheeling done today.